Welcome everybody to Tables, Ladders, and Talk. This is your Monday Night Raw review for July 2nd, 2018. And tonight we had Monday Night Raw coming from you from Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Now, just a little about myself. My name is Lucky Luciano. I'll be your host for most of the podcasts that we're going to be having on the TLT uh, YouTube channel. We're mostly going to talk about wrestling and maybe try to get some UFC in there. We're partnered with a couple of other guys, so and we're part of the Second City Network. Man, we're going to have some gaming, some wrestling, some sports, everything you guys pretty much like. We nerd out over here. So with that being said, man, I hope you like, subscribe, and follow. Give me your feedback. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you thought of tonight's Raw. I kind of thought it was a snooze fest. Me personally, it was Monday Night Reigns actually. So you know how that goes. I mean, we literally had. I think the official time was. I got to crack a beer to talk about this one. I think the official time was 49 minutes. It was either 49 or 59 minutes, one of the two. 49 minutes of Roman Reigns, literally. Two matches and like 3 or 4 segments backstage. So, with that being said, we opened up from Sioux Falls, South Dakota, in the Denny Sanford Premier Center. So yeah, the crowd was pretty Denny Sanfordish. We open up with a recap of last week, like last week's show was any better. But they opened up with a recap of last week. And once the show starts, you know whose music we heard, Roman Reigns. So Roman comes out, of course, to at the as usual Roman sucks chants. It was a little to me it was a little muffled in there. Like, man, like the crowd was like half asleep at the beginning, from the beginning to the end, really. And then, man, Roman starts the promo. Let me see if I can get the promo to play for you.
They're extremely talented and they got a bright future, but
Talking about the revival
never ever
here.
in my career did I think I'd say that I lost to the revival.
And I understand that the revival is a great tag team. I mean,
I'm
I
not making excuses
personally
here,
like
but
the
the fact
revival. I
is,
think
I
they're
did
being
have the
used
worst tag
totally,
team partner of all
totally
time,
wrong.
Bobby Lashley. And for whatever reason, Kurt Angle thinks it'd be smart to team up with him again, but I don't want to team up with Bob, no. I want to fight Bob. And if Kurt don't want us to fight at Extreme Rules, then I say we do it right here, right now. Because I don't like Bob. Bob is an egomaniac. And Bob
Bob.
is a fool. Because Bob actually believes that he's the guy. When the fact is, 10 years ago, you weren't the guy because you couldn't handle the role.
You ain't the guy neither, Roman.
And the fact
And that's
is,
real talk.
10
Like,
years
man,
from now,
like,
you still won't be the guy because
and 10 years
I'm
from
the
now,
guy.
no, you're not.
You, Roman Reigns.
He was interrupted by Dolph Ziggler and the man, Drew McIntyre.
About you, you walk around like you own the place. Hell, you call my ring your yard. You act like everything in this world has to go through you. You always just have to go playing the hero. Like last week when you saved the day for your
Now, honestly, I don't think I would mind a feud with Roman Reigns and Drew McIntyre. I would much rather see that than him and Bobby Lashley.
Seth Rollins. That actually, thank you. That actually brings us
just because I want to see Drew McIntyre, man,
Fine by
you know,
us.
whoop Roman's ass. I'm sorry.
Since you stubbed your nose in our business last week, I'd say it's only fair that we would return the favor right now.
Oh no. This does not bode well for Roman Reigns.
Oh yeah, right to the face. Yeah, to right hand.
So Roman, you know, tries to ward off Drew McIntyre and Dolph Ziggler, but it doesn't bode well for him for a minute. So Ziggler and McIntyre take turns whooping Roman's ass. And then Seth runs out with no music, of course, but, you know, people burn it down. So Seth comes out, saves him, tackles Drew, you know, and then McIntyre pulls Drew out, and then, you know, man, Rollins' music hits, and then they go, you know, man, first commercial break. Come back from the break. We've got Roman again. Roman again backstage with Seth, and he's booked in a match. So Kurt Angle tells him that they're booked in a match against Drew McIntyre and Dolph Ziggler for next week. But Roman tells him, man, no, I want it tonight. So he's like, you already booked in a match. So now he's booked in 2 matches. Yay, we get 2 Roman Reigns matches in one night. Yeah, that's great for ratings. Vince. So Angle changes his mind, of course, and says, man, if that's what he wants, then he can have it. We go to the ring. Following that, let me make sure I don't have anything else in my notes. Oh, right. And then it was also announced that at Extreme Rules that Dolph Ziggler and Seth Rollins will be having a 30-minute Iron Man match. Now, that's probably, at this point, the only match I'm interested in to see. That one, and maybe, I don't even know what the hell SmackDown is doing yet. So, yeah, right now, that's the only match I really care about. After that, we have the Total Divas segment. That's what I'm going to call it, because this shouldn't be on a wrestling show. It should be on Total Divas. Bayley goes to therapy, and she's met there by Sasha. So Sasha's like, you know, man, I was told I had a 10 o'clock. Well, I was told I had a 10 o'clock, you know. So they're bitching back and forth about why they're both there. And so then Dr. Shelby comes out. So Sasha smiles, you know, it was kind of a coy, asshole-ish smile. And he takes them into the room. We cut and go to commercial. So as we come back from commercial, we go to the ring. Out comes Matt Hardy to the delete. He says, Michael Cole says that he's by himself. I don't know if you heard, Bray Wyatt was injured over the weekend in a car accident on his way to the airport, actually, to fly out, I guess, to South Dakota, and got in a car accident. So Matt Hardy comes to the ring. The B team comes out, appears on the screen, doing, of course, the impressions again. Now, the Matt Hardy impression needs to go. That shit is god awful. It is. It needs to go. Now, the Bray Wyatt, Bo Dallas is doing this thing with that. That's funny, though. I mean, man, it's pretty entertaining. But the shtick is getting old. I mean, man, this has been like the 3rd or 4th week in a row now that, man, we've had to watch them go back and forth, and they're gonna go at it for the titles at Extreme Rules. I mean, it's just not really interesting. I mean, man, you got a lot of other tag teams that could be vying for a spot right now. we know who's going to fight at Extreme Rules. But if you can get somebody out there, you know, to vie for another spot, you know, man, you get the Revival, who you got feuding with who? Roman Reigns. You can get the Revival and, you know, hell, I don't know, Breezango. You know, man, get them in a feud, you know, man, to challenge for the championships, you know, man, or maybe, you know, Authors of Pain. I don't know, but you have a lot of tag teams that you're just wasting away. Anyway, so this match was pretty much a snooze fest. Goes back and forth. Of course, Matt Hardy loses with a distraction from Bo Dallas. You know, he jumps up on the apron, and then, man, back and forth. Axel drops Hardy over the top of the steel ring post. Bang, he hit his head, and then drives him down for a fade. Man, with a little DDT. After he was getting his ass whooped for most of the match, mind you. He gets, you know, man, he gets the pin on 1, 2, 3. So he's been beat clean 2 weeks in a row. We talking about broken Matt Hardy here. Man, I wish they were back in Ring of Honor in New Japan and Impact. That, I mean, WWF sure knows how to kill a gimmick. I will say that. They really know how to kill a gimmick. Like Broken Matt is not even, Woken Matt is not even, I mean, it was one of my favorite gimmicks, and it's gone totally to it's not even good anymore. After the match, Dallas hits the ring. They celebrate. Max looks on. And then we have, next, we come back from break. We have who again? Roman Reigns. In the back talking with Seth Rollins. In the locker room, Bobby Lashley walks in. Rollins leaves out. Lashley tells him, look, let me, man, we need to be on the same page tonight, man, while we fighting the Revival, blah, 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 blah. Lashley still can't cut a promo. It's like watching paint dry when he talks. He threatened Roman, but it didn't feel genuine because his facial expressions never changes. His voice inflection never changes. I mean, it was just, he needs work. He definitely needs some work. Lashley talks and talks. Man, Reigns tells them to shut up. Blah, 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 blah. Reigns says he's going to start the match and beat the Revival on his own. I mean, I don't know why they just playing the Revival like two jobbers. Then Lashley stands there, smiles at him, and then asks if, does he want to go at it, basically. Bullshit, keep going. So then we go to the Bayley and Sasha Banks promo. Here, I'll go ahead and I'll play it for you just to see, just so you. I mean, it belongs on Total Divas. It doesn't belong on Raw. Here you go.
You have got to be kidding me. What are you doing here? I have a 10 o'clock counseling appointment. I have a 10 o'clock.
They should really be in the ring fighting
6A.
over a belt.
I'm 6A.
Not doing this shit.
No, listen to me. What are you doing? What do you mean? What am I doing? I'm sitting here because of you. Because of me? Yes. You started off. I was going to get fired up, not here. Oh, I was going to get fired too. You're the one who attacked me.
Blah, 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 blah. Blah, blah, blah. Yammer, yammer, yammer.
Morning. I'm Dr. Shelby, and I'm going to be helping guide you through your friendship counseling together. So if you're ready, why don't you follow me into what I like to call the friend zone?
This is the awful zone, is what it is. This is fucking terrible. I mean, man, how can anybody? How could they even think somebody would like this?
Because it's a safe space
Honestly.
where the only rules are the 7 tenets of friendship. Love. Helping. Joy. Sharing. Time.
I don't have time for this shit.
Honesty.
I'm being honest, and this is
Respect.
dumb. I can't respect any of that. So that was the first promo. So then they go in, you know, and that was pretty much it for the segment. Then we have Titus O'Neil and Apollo Crews in the ring after they come back from commercial. And they're standing there, and then of course they recap. They're mad at Authors of Pain for disrespecting the catering staff. And I mean, man, and you know, people make jokes about it all the time, especially shout out to JD from NY. But I mean, he says it all the time that Titus is king of catering, and it looks like it every week. You know, man, it's like somebody is actually writing him that way. But he was mad, so they come out in a squash match. They get killed by Authors of Pain in like, I think it was like 2 or 3 minutes. I think I looked down at like a Facebook post or something online and looked up, and the match was over, like literally. Then after that's done, we cut to the backstage area once again. And once we cut to the backstage area, guess who we cut to? You guessed it, Roman Reigns, one more damn time. So we can see him come out for the first of his 2 matches. As we come back, Kevin Owens is getting there. He's late. And Kevin Owens parks his car right next to the door. The valet asks him for the keys. He tells him, man, no, you can't have my keys. And he walks in. So we go to the ring, and first comes out Seth Rollins, you know, man, to an amazing pop, as usual, because he's Monday Night Rollins. And then after he comes out to his amazing pop, you know, then we have to deal with the oh god mummers of Roman Reigns coming out. Then, you know, man, then we have Ziggler and McIntyre come out. I wish they would just break them up and bring them out separately, like, man, because I actually like Drew McIntyre's music, but the way they mix it in with Dolph Ziggler's, to me, is just horrible. Let me know what you think about that. So Ziggler starts off with Rollins. They go back and forth. This was the only match really worth watching. They go back and forth. Ziggler, you know, man, a couple of quick pin attempts by Ziggler. They lock up several times. Fans are, chanting. You know, man, fans were really into this match. They really were. The only match they went into tonight, man, they woke up South Dakota. Well, 3 out of the 4 people did, man. Roman Reigns basically didn't do anything because, you know, he was trying to save himself so he could beat the Revival all by himself. Ziggler did a little counter from Rollins, rolled him up for a 2 count, and then Rollins hit him with a drop kick. McIntyre tagged Rollins. Man, McIntyre tags in. And then Rollins then he locks up. Then he takes him down, man, into a mat hold. Drew had control of Rollins pretty much for this part of the match. They face off, and then, of course, man, he tags Roman in. McIntyre, man, told him basically to bring it on. They locked up, man. They went back and forth to the "Let's go Roman, Roman sucks" chants. Drew works him over in the corner. Reigns unloads on him in the corner. You know, man, they go back and forth. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Then Reigns goes for man. They had like Dolph Ziggler did like man a really nice outside move in my opinion. Like he came down, he dropped down off the apron and like ran and like just slid up under the mat and caught the referee's attention for a minute. And once he did, Drew came over. I mean, McIntyre came over, man, while the referee's attention was caught, and he pulled Rollins off the mat. And man, it was just really slick how he did it. Man, Ziggler can work, man. Ziggler, I don't know why they've been wasting him away for so long. So, then Ziggler runs into a big boot, and then Rollins finally gets in and hits a sling blade. Man, then he jumps off, man, sends McIntyre into the barrier, and then runs the ropes, does a suicide dive into McIntyre, pushes him into the barrier, and then Reigns does a drive-by to Ziggler. Rollins does a frog splash to Ziggler. McIntyre breaks the pin, and then Drew knocks Reigns out of the ring. Ziggler and Rollins then go back and forth with moves and pin attempts. Rollins catches a super kick, catches the super kick mid-time, and then launches Ziggler over the top rope, landing right beside McIntyre. And then Rollins goes up on the top rope and does a big crossbody, man, knocking them both to the floor. Man, Rollins is the best worker they got right now. And then then Ziggler, we come back from commercial. The referee, Reigns is still trying to get a tag, but Ziggler pulls Rollins down to the mat. And then Rollins starts fading as the referee checks on him. Fans are chanting, I don't know what the hell this damn. They just I guess they wanted Rollins to get in because it was like a chant, and I don't know what the hell they were doing. And then Ziggler stops the tag, but he hit a famouser on Rollins for another 2 count. And then McIntyre tags back in and stomps the shit out of Rollins. Drew works Rollins, man, around the ring, and then he fights him back over on the floor. Rollins fights, man, and hits, I think, Drew with a clothesline and sent him out to the floor. And then Rollins leaps to make the tag, but when he pulled McIntyre out on the floor, man, beautiful move by McIntyre. Man, McIntyre pulls Reigns off the apron. So as soon as he jumps to try to make the hot tag, and man, as soon as he jumped, man, McIntyre pulled him. It was like, man, like picture perfect. And Reigns reaches for the tag, but then, man, the Revival come out the crowd after Roman gets up off the floor. The Revival comes out the crowd and start beating him down. And of course, man, so they get the win by DQ. Like I said, it was a good match. It was a really good match. After the match, man, the Revival double team Roman, and McIntyre and Ziggler double team Seth. And man, everybody gets their beat down, man, and then they get the Claymore zigzag on Seth, and then the Revival come in and they do the Shatter Machine on Roman Reigns, and then, man, the crowd's chanting one more time, but they wouldn't do it. I don't know why. I would have done it. Probably they had Vince and they, man, you better not hurt Roman. I need Roman to rub my feet tonight. No, don't hurt Roman. Roman is the future. Yeah, right. So then backstage, man, we come back from commercial backstage, man. Kevin Owens goes into Kurt Angle's office, and he was wearing a Baron Corbin sweatshirt. It was really odd to me. Like, man, why would you be wearing somebody else's merchandise? Like, he's not even wearing his own merchandise. So why are you wearing? You have your own merchandise. So Kevin Owens walks in and he tells Kurt Angle that he has to do something about Braun Strowman because basically, man, he's running around bullying him, man, chasing him around, man, looking at him. What did he say? He looks at me and licks his lip and looks at me like I'm a slab of bacon. I mean, man, like, I guess they're pushing this out to SummerSlam, but I mean, for one, Strowman needs that strap. He should have had that title, but he doesn't have it. So Kevin Owens is like, dude, you got to keep him away from me. So Kurt Owens. So then Kurt Angle tells him, man, there's only one way to settle it, man. You and Braun Strowman one-on-one tonight. So of course Owens isn't happy. Then we go Baron Corbin standing in the ring, go to commercial. Then we come back from commercial, and we get this wonderful promo.
As Constable of Raw, I'm here to help. It doesn't matter who you are or what you do. Everybody needs help to get to their full potential. If your boss chews you out of the team meeting, he's just trying to help. If your teacher sends you to detention, they're trying to make you a better student. If a police officer gives you a speeding ticket, they're just trying to make you a better driver. Stephanie McMahon appointed me constable to make Kurt Angle a better general manager and to help all the superstars in the locker room achieve their full potential. So to help him get his
At least they done
career
found
back
something
on
for him
track,
to do. I
I'm
kind of like
inviting
Baron
Finn
Corbin.
Balor
I don't know why
out
he's
here
gotten.
to offer
Again, I mean, man, he's like the rest of them. Man, some of them, they got talent, and they just don't get pushed.
I'm sorry that my comments about your vest last week got you fired from TGI Fridays.
Then we got Comedy Finn. Like, dude, what happened to the Demon King?
Okay, I get it.
Smiling,
Still
man,
angry
smiling,
that I
and
picked
you know,
2 weeks ago, so I'll let that slide. I'll be the bigger man,
rainbow colored shirts. Man, come on, man.
obviously. And I'm gonna give you another
Somebody
chance
take his balls out of
to
a
say
mason jar
sorry.
from somewhere, man. Like,
You do deserve
I need the
an
real Finn, the first
apology from
Universal
whoever gave you that
Champion
haircut.
Finn Balor back.
Listen, you little twerp. I'm trying to help you out.
Comedy hour.
Stephanie McMahon handpicked me for a reason to be the constable of Monday Night Raw. So suck up your pride, give me the respect I deserve, and apologize.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but you stopped deserving anyone's respect the day you became Stephanie McMahon's stooge.
Let's see, bitch would have been a nice word there. He called him a stooge.
Cheap shot by Corbin. Balor deserved that one.
Yeah, what did Finn think Constable Corbin was going to do?
Well, come on, Finn wasn't going to come out here and be berated like this. He was standing up for himself.
So, of course, then, man, Baron Corbin whoops his ass a little bit.
And now Corbin's gonna pay.
Finn with the sling blade.
Corbin making an exit, but Corbin not exiting yet, but perhaps he will now. And Finn Balor looking ahead up top. Constable Corbin's in trouble, and now retreating.
Right, and then he left.
Would have been a lot easier.
And that was pretty much that segment. So then, man, they cut backstage, and we see Elias, man, tuning up his guitar. So Liv Morgan and Sarah Logan walk out, and they ask as he's performing tonight. He was like, man, for these people, nah, I'm good. So he starts playing a little something in the back, and Liv Morgan, man, then I forgot what are they, the Riot Squad? Yeah. And so then they start, man, just tearing shit up in the back, man. They walking down. Liv Morgan was one-on-one with Ember Moon tonight. So, man, what's with all the, like, man, the Pornhub screaming with the females, man? Like, a lot of that just don't be needed. Like, man, can we, man, can they just sound, man, make some regular grunts or something? Shit. Don't nobody want to hear all of that all the time. So we come back from break. It's Ember Moon and Liv Morgan. Not a very good match. Liv Morgan is not really a good wrestler. Ember Moon needs somebody in there that can challenge her. This wasn't really a challenge for her. Pretty much a quick squash. And, man, winner, Ember Moon, of course. Then we get another segment. Jesus Christ. Another one of these Bayley, Sasha Banks segments. I believe this was the final segment for them for the night. And, yeah, they have this one up, too. So let's listen in.
We're going to play a game called Honesty Theater, okay? This is where my patients get
I'm
a
being
chance
honest,
to walk around
man, this
in
show
someone
sucked.
else's shoes. So I'm going to ask you how you feel.
Sucked really bad.
And Sasha, you're going to pretend to be Bayley when you answer. And Bayley, you're going to pretend to be
Again,
Sasha
this
when
belongs
you answer.
on Total
Honesty
fucking
Theater
Divas.
is how we find the honesty. Okay? So, Bayley,
This would be good for Caddy
How you
TV.
feel?
Hi, my name is Bailey, and when I grow up, I'm gonna be a champion. Not because I deserve it, because I collect so many autographs, and I'm a pushover, and I act like I'm 5, and I'm everyone's best friend. And did I mention that I like hugs? Yeah.
Okay. Sasha, what does it do to you to hear that?
I'm Sasha Banks, and I'm the legit boss. And if you don't call me the boss, I'm gonna stab you in the back. And if you get an opportunity before me, I'm gonna stab you in the back. Actually, it doesn't matter what you do because I'm gonna stab you in the back because I'm the legit boss. Oh, and guess what? I have a neighbor whose mailman's cousin is Snoop Dogg. And one more thing, I'm the boss. You think you're real funny, don't you?
Does not belong on a wrestling show.
Snoop Dogg, why don't you do first of all? Oh, you want me to leave? Listen, I want to leave. I don't want to be your cousin. Did I have to get a job? No. Yeah.
They're arguing about Snoop being her cousin. Literally.
Shut up! I'm sick of you. I just get out. You're nobody. I'm nobody. I'm nobody.
So we got a to be continued graphic after that, which means this shit is gonna go to next week. Yay. Wonderful. So we come back from commercial, go to the ring, and out comes the Revival. A rematch from last week, which will be now the third week in a row, I believe. Again, I like the Revival, but put them in a meaningful feud with something that sometimes, someplace, somewhere will lead to, I don't know, some belts around their waist. So, of course, it's the Revival versus Roman Reigns. So that pretty much was the whole match. It was Roman Reigns versus the Revival in a handicap match. Bobby Lashley was asking for the tag, the hot tag, even when he was down and fucked up. But Roman Reigns has this new hurt. He hulks up now, which I thought was quite hilarious tonight. He hulks up. And Roman basically looked at Bobby Lashley and was like, no, I'm not tagging you in. So basically, man, the Revival just jumped on, eventually, man, just jumped Roman Reigns and started beating him down. The referee called for the bell. And Bobby Lashley just, man, as soon as the bell rang, he jumped down and left, which same thing I would have done. So Roman has won both of his matches tonight by disqualification because of the Revival. So now we see Kurt Angle backstage. And Kevin Owens walks in again saying, man, look, he needs to stop all the shit that Braun Strowman been doing. You need to cancel this match. Like, man, like this isn't I'm not trying to fight him, basically. So Owens, man, basically is trying to get out of the match. Kurt Angle told him it's not gonna happen. So then, of course, they cut back to who? Roman Reigns trying to get out the ring. So then, man, we come back from break and they recap what just happened to who? Roman Reigns. And Reigns goes into the locker room, another backstage segment, and tells Kurt Angle that he wants Lashley. And he wants Lashley at Extreme Rules, and Lashley just came back there and asked Kurt Angle for the same thing. So we get Roman Reigns and Bobby Lashley at Extreme Rules. Shaping up to be a great pay-per-view, Vince. So then we get Mojo Rawley and No Way Jose out in the ring again. No match. Let's see if we can get here you go.
Rematch? Did I not make myself perfectly clear last week, Jose? Huh?
Like, why are we even... Where's Bobby Roode?
Because I paid a steep price.
Honestly, where's Bobby Roode?
To have the opportunity to
Mojo Rawley? Where the fuck did you pull him from?
And what do you do with your opportunity? You dance. And I'm supposed to just give you a rematch because you dance? No way, Jose. Yeah, Mojo trying to punk out. No way, Jose, as he clips him from behind. So for the second straight week, it appears we're not going to get our rematch.
Then he starts picking on the conga line.
Mojo's lost it. Oh, my God.
Like he's beating up jobbers. Then No Way Jose comes out, blah, 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 blah. We don't get a match. Man, then it's over. So, then we get the Nia Jax, Alexa Bliss, Ronda Rousey segment. Ronda says, man, look, I've been suspended from Raw. So I'm not allowed to show up at any shows, blah, 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 blah. But Extreme Rules is a pay-per-view. So I'm going to buy me a front row ticket. And I'll be there. Then Rousey said, right, that she's suspended from Monday Night Raw, but she's not suspended from Extreme Rules. So she'll be buying a ticket. So then we go to the ring, and out comes Mickie James with Alexa Bliss. And Nia Jax comes out, takes the mic, and, you know, man, Oh, I've got a new best friend, and I've got somebody that you guys, man, that you want to be out here with your friend. I can be out here with my friend. So out comes Natty. So now I don't understand how Nia Jax is coming out with Natty, who's supposed to be training with Ronda Rousey, who should really have a problem with Nia Jax because Nia Jax was the one that had the title. And whatever happened to their little beef? Like they beef just squashed? Like, or am I just supposed to forget that ever happened? I think that's what it is. I'm just supposed to forget that ever happened. Okay. So we got a boring ass match from Mickie James and Nia Jax. Nia Jax wins. I mean, do you really want me to tell you anything about this match? I didn't think so. There's really nothing to say. Honestly. Nothing. Like I said, Nia Jax comes out with Natty. I can't understand that because Natty's supposed to be close with Ronda Rousey, who's chasing the belt, who had to fight Nia Jax for it. It just makes no sense. So then we go backstage with Kevin Owens. At least we're done with Roman Reigns at this point for right now. We go backstage with Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens is asking Jinder Mahal for tips on how to find inner peace. So Jinder Mahal and the Singh brother is showing him how to breathe. So Carly Caruso comes out and asks him, man, like, why are you not, like, this was a dumbass question. You seem a little bit shaken up by having to fight Braun Strowman. Like, man, okay, he's the biggest dude, meanest dude around here, man. And wouldn't nobody really want to fight him? So Owens is like, man, he's fought the monster before, and tonight you're gonna see him destroy a monster, man. So basically, yeah, no, I'm not mad. I'm just gonna fight him. Get out my damn face. Let me continue my breathing. So we come back, and then we come back from commercial. They're talking about the Reigns and Lashley at Extreme Rules. And then Renee Young is backstage, and he, cuts another with Lashley, and Lashley has another terrible ass promo. I guess that's what we getting. Terrible ass promos from Bobby Lashley. So then we get down to Kevin Owens versus Braun Strowman, the main event for the night. First comes out Kevin Owens. They recap what happened last week when Strowman flipped his car over. Bell rings. Strowman is whooping Owens' ass, of course. And then yells at him, man, does this Braun, run. Owens goes to the floor. And then Owens runs away to the back as the fans boo. Like, oh, come on, dude. So Braun looks, and he starts, he's looking like, what the hell is going on? So the referee starts counting. Owens been counted out. So after the bell, Braun leaves and starts going to look for him, right? So he's like, man, where is he? Where is he? Where is he? So he runs all the way to the parking lot. He's looking in the car. Oh, man, mind you, Owens then snuck off in this porta potty. So he's looking all around. So the fans are chanting, Porta John, Porta John, Porta John. So, Porta Potty, that's what Porta Potty, man, that's what they were chanting. I'm sorry, not Porta John, yeah. So they chant Porta Potty. So, Braun is looking around. He looks all in the car, looks everywhere. So he walks past the toilet, and then he walks past the porta potty, and then he stops. Like, wait a minute, that's the only place I didn't check. So he, man, comes out with this high pitched voice, like, man, is anybody in here? So Kevin Owens then, responds because he thought it was somebody, smaller. He didn't think it was Strowman. So Braun finds this duct tape, and he duct tapes the damn porta potty, right? Man, now I'm sorry, but I'm laughing my ass off at this. Like, man, like why Braun Strowman does not have that belt is beyond me. Like, he's the most, between him and Seth Rollins, they're the two most entertaining people on the card. Man, you could have had, man, at this point, you could have had him beefing with Kevin Owens, man, for the strap. They could have been going at it at Extreme Rules for the strap. I mean, man, it's a lot of people that that he's been beefing with, and y'all just could have put a title behind it. And you could have had good people in good positions to chase a title. I don't get it. I don't get it. So, Braun duct tapes the porta potty closed. After he duct tapes the porta potty closed, he picks it up by this rope and starts dragging it from the back of the arena all the way back in. So he drags it all the way back into the arena, right? Drags it all the way up the stage, man, from the back all the way up the stage. So he gets it up on the stage, puts it on the end here, and like over where the announcers would sit, like, man, like right over in that corner, but like behind them, right at the edge of the stage. So he walks away, making it look like, he's just gonna leave him there. And he turns around, man. The crowd, of course, is pumping him up. So he looks. He's like, fuck it. Turns around and does his bull charge. Knocks the damn porta potty off of the stage. I'm sorry, I laughed my ass off. I know the Braun Strowman shtick is getting old, man, with him just being a bully, but it's still funny to me. So then they get the porta john open. Kevin Owens got all the blue piss water on him. Man, I'm pretty sure it was clean, but still, man, you got that blue nasty stuff all over you. And, man, then he stands there, man, watching, does his Braun thing, and Raw goes off the air. So once again, another, what's the word I'm looking for? Lackluster show, to say the least. I mean, man, to me, the only highlights of the whole show were the Seth Rollins, Dolph Ziggler, Drew McIntyre match, and the Braun Strowman Kevin Owens thing. And that's just because that was entertaining. Everything else, literally, when you have Roman Reigns taking up 1 hour of your 3-hour show, I mean, there's really nothing more that you can say about it. You got him taking up an hour, and you got the Bayley and Sasha segment at least taking up a good 10 minutes between the recaps and everything else. Man, cut the show back down to 2 hours. If that's what you're going to give me for a 3-hour show, I mean, that's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Man, 1 hour of one wrestler, and you got a whole half a damn locker room that's in the back sitting and catering, eating cake. It makes no sense whatsoever. None. Man, I believe that whole creative team needs to go on Raw. SmackDown been doing better. Man, we're going to try to talk about them tomorrow. SmackDown's been doing a whole lot better. But Raw, they got a long way to go. Man, maybe when Vince go and fulfill his XFL dream, man, we'll start getting some better TV. I don't know. I really don't. I at this, like I said, I don't know. I see why Daniel Bryan said what he said in his interview when he was like, man, do you trust WWE writers to, what did he say? Do you trust WWE writers, man, to stretch a feud out with me and The Miz for a whole, man, all the way to to WrestleMania 35? He was like, I don't. That's basically what he was saying. And for Daniel Bryan not to trust him, and he works there with them every day. He's been in the general manager position. He's been in the, he's a wrestler, so he's been in a wrestling position. He pretty much knows what the fuck is going on back there. And they must not be doing shit. Well, we can see they not doing anything. I mean, I don't, everybody I know, man, is just, they're disappointed in what it's become because the talent is there. Why aren't you using it? That's everybody's question. The talent is there. Use it to your advantage. That's what I would do. There's nothing else pretty much to say about this show except for it's over. It was a snooze fest. So, man, if you haven't watched it, don't. Man, if you can try to find maybe a YouTube video of the Rollins match, as always, man, see what Seth Rollins was up to. If you want a good, man, wrestling chuckle, watch the Braun Strowman thing. But other than that, I wouldn't go back and watch this. It was god awful. And with that being said, man, again, look out for us. We're going to try to do our weekly Raw, SmackDown, and if I can fit it in, NXT reviews. And we'll have a whole lot of other things coming to you, some live stream gaming. I'm trying to work on a game list right now to figure out, man, what I can stream because it's a little dry spell right now, at least till Spider-Man comes out. Right now I'm playing Horizon Zero Dawn because I never played it. Man, I just got a PlayStation a couple of months ago. I've always been Team Xbox. But again, you guys can follow us at the links listed above. TLT Pod on Twitter. TLT Pod 1 on Facebook. TLT Pod 1 on Instagram. And for one, the TLT Podcast on YouTube. This has been Tables, Ladders, and Talk, our first episode. I hope you guys like it. Again, hit the like, comment down below, subscribe if you would like to see what else we're going to be up to. Part of the Second City Network. So, man, we're going to have a lot of things coming at you. We're doing a lot of, trying to do a lot of big things here, So, we got some things in the works, man. It's just one of the new things that we got in the infantile stages. And, I hope you guys I hope you guys, man, continue to watch. And, I'll see you on the next one. Lucky's out.